Tom Randall from GoldenCare. I've been with GoldenCare for 27 years now. I'm in my 27th, and it's been my pleasure, along with my partner in crime, Dennis Reiner, who usually is on these calls with me, but he's traveling today. So Dennis won't be able to be here, but we've had a pleasure of doing 30 webinars the first batch, and now we're doing 48 and 38 days. We're coming down to our last couple of weeks of that, and we've had a ball with these webinars, and we've had some really good insights from agents. So we appreciate that. And again, we give some of the product trainings and some of the sales webinars. And, you know, the product trainings are always the ones that are a little bit more dry because we just have to go through and it's part of what you have to learn. The good news is, you'll hear me say it several times today probably, and you probably heard it before if you've been on previous webinars, we don't toss you out of that plane without a parachute. So we have a whole site available for you with backup training and backup information, everything you need to be successful with these products. So again, usually we start out talking about how important it is to go out and do what we do. And if you haven't been on a webinar before, please do me a favor and check out and go to the site that I'll show you and listen to one of our previous webinars if you haven't been on, because we talk a little bit about the need for short-term care and extended care products in general and why it's so important. So that being said, I'm going to jump right into the product training today. Again, this is a great part of our extended care portfolio with Integrity. And, you know, we have the three main products with the Wellabe product itself, with the GTL, Recover Cash, short-term care, and then the Manhattan Life Omniflex plan. And they all have their niches in certain things. And hopefully I'll point that out today when we're training some of the areas that Wellabe really can stand out for you and your agent base, whatever you're working on, whether it's med sups, final expense, or if you're diving into the short-term care arena heavily, that's great too, because we've got some great products for you. And I think you'll see that we got some great opportunities for you to be successful with that. So I'm going to try to juggle two things here at once. Usually I get Dennis checking questions too, but I'm going to start out and just talk in general about the shifting industry. We're in long-term care, as you know. If you've been on our previous webinars, we helped write over $1 billion worth of long-term care over the years, and the market has shifted. Long-term care, unfortunately, kind of made its bed, and it got a little bit tougher to be able to go out and help more people, especially once they got a little bit older. And we know how important that is with the baby boomers getting older. But the good news is what we found is with these extended care products, we call them extended care because the first thing I'll tell you about short-term care basics is it's not a great name. Most adults in the industry out there, or most adults live in their day-to-day life, if you ask what is short-term care insurance, a lot of them are going to be like, well, is that something that pays for 30 days after I get out of the hospital or I recover from an injury or something? And yeah, we can do that with these plans. They're incredibly flexible. But at the same time, I want to make sure you understand that we can build these plans to be really robust. So I want to make sure, as you're watching today on the Wellabe plan, for example, look at how strong the plan could be if we built it up to the very top end of the spectrum. So the good news is most claims, as we've seen with short-term care and long-term care in general, across the board, most of the claims aren't as long. So we're seeing that the vast majority of people are having 1 year, 2 year claims anyway. And these short-term cares can get that done. But on the flip side, we can also make these super affordable and scale them down to the fact that we can have a really nice complementary plan as well. So lots of moving parts. You'll hear more about that when we get into plan design, et cetera. We've got a plan design call coming up this afternoon. And we've also got other training webinars that we'll show you as well before I let you go today. So let's look at short-term care from Wellabe. Again, the plan availability for Wellabe right now is they started in 10 states, and I'll obviously be offering more states as we go. I'll show you a map of that later on too. But the cool thing about Wellabe is that they really stretched the underwriting formula out there. And you know, most short-term care plans before this last batch of products that came in were kind of just an application, super simple, way easier underwriting than what you see with long-term care insurance. For those of you who might know what long-term care is and has been around that a little bit, very simple. So the net was already thrown a lot wider, but then with this newest generation of plans, they started to do a two-tiered underwriting. And Wellabe took it a step further, and you're going to see here they have a really cool concept. And they have, if you look on the right-hand side of your screen there, a limited benefit rider. We call it kind of an uninsurable spouse rider or uninsurable adult rider. it's available if somebody else qualifies for one of the other two plans that they have. And this seems really complicated, but I'll show you it's a real simple concept, but it's really nice to have because in this case, there's only one question that they ask. And if you can answer that question, then you know at least we can get that limited benefit rider if one of the other people in the household get one of the other plans. So it's kind of a cool concept, and I'll show you more about that as we go as well. But the two-tiered side of it is really simple. They have their top plan, their full benefit plan called the Essential Care Plus plan. And again, that's really nice underwriting. It's much easier in long-term care, similar to what we have on the other full-blown short-term care plans out there that have home health care and facility, okay? And then they have this Essential Care plan, which is just a step down, and it's still really a strong plan. I'm going to show you that today. It's one of the cool things about Wellabe, again, is that even their quote unquote limited or scaled down plan is still really a strong plan. And I'll show you that when I get into the benefits. And very simple concept. When you get through, we can use our InstaPivot tool for underwriting that you may have seen, or you can do it right from the application. It's all easy stuff. So it's a great opportunity for you to go out there and be able to offer coverage for almost everybody you're going to be in front of doing what you do on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And of course, they're not eligible, just saying if you're already receiving care or you have a cognitive impairment right now, or you're getting assistance, obviously, we won't be able to help you. We missed the boat on that. Make sense? So then the next part we look at is these plans in general. And again, if we look at the Essential Care Plus, this is their most robust plan. You can see it's very strong. One of the things that the Essential Care Plus and Wellabe in general does that's a little bit different, which I kind of like, is that they have their base plan a home health care plan. The other short-term care plans that we have in our Integrity portfolio start out with a facility-based plan and then have a home health care rider. And of course, almost everybody adds the home health care rider on there because we know from Sales 101 that at the end of the day, people buy these plans to try to stay out of the nursing home most of the time, right? It's important coverage to have, but it is the reason people buy most of the time is to stay out of that facility if they can help it. So kind of cool that Wellabe was smart enough to say, let's start out with a home health care base plan. Okay. And then the rider is the facility. Make sense? So with the Essential Care Plus plan, basically I'll show you on the application, if they answer no to all the health questions, they qualify for the Essential Care Plus. Again, it's much easier underwriting than what you'll see with long-term care or something like that. And then the daily benefit is up to $300 per day for 360 days of in-home healthcare. And again, that's up to. There's some different options you'll see as we design this plan that you can choose a scaled down plan as well, but you can get up to 360 days. And I'll show you a chart with all of that as well, and it's all on our website to show you every little example of what you can have. Does that make sense? And then with these Essential Care Plus plans, remember, if you have a long-term care, if you've been in the field for long-term care, we always tell you, make sure you take off your long-term care hat or throw it to the side or tilt it to the side at least, because with short-term care, remember the benefit triggers are much easier, right? You can have benefits for short-term care for things like hospital recovery, things like hip replacements, knee replacements, etc. Anytime you need help with 2 of 6 activities of daily living, or you have a cognitive impairment. With long-term care, remember, they say the doctor has to say you're going to need help for at least 90 days, that 90-day requirement. So what I'm getting to here is that these elimination periods, most of the time you'll see elimination periods for long-term care. By far the most common is 90-day elimination or deductible before the plan pays. With these plans, we sell a lot of 0 and 20-day eliminations. We want people to know that, hey, when the time comes, and it's a scary time, we want to try to get you benefits as soon as we can. So Wellabe skipped over. A lot of the products have the higher elimination offerings. With this one, they say 0 20-day elimination. That's what we're going to sell most of the time anyway. So with this, first day coverage is really popular with home care, and the base plan here is home care. So a lot of you will be selling first day coverage. Okay. Nice part here, they have a one-time restoration that will restore. Once you're healthy enough for 180 days, we always joke about, we don't want you to take mom and duct tape her in the basement just to get your restoration, right? You have to be recovered. You have to be at the point where you wouldn't need care. And if you have the Essential Care Plus plan, you can have a one-time restoration so that if you use your benefits, let's say you use 60 or 80 days of your 360-day benefit, and then you get better and you're fine for 180 days, half a year, then the computer will spit those days right back in there. So they're there back up to your 360 days, for example. So nice to have that restoration available. Okay. That's the essential care. And then the essential care, or excuse me, that's the essential care plus. The essential care plan is just a step down from there, and it's pretty robust. The essential care says we can throw the undernet wider, the underwriting net wider, so we can cover more people. But then to protect the carrier, then we're going to limit benefits a little bit. Okay. So basically, when it talks about questions, these are right on the app, and I'm going to bump you over there and show you that in just a second. But basically, they say if you answer no to the first 6 questions, and then if you have to answer yes to those remaining questions, you still can get the essential care plan. And again, it's pretty solid, $150 per day. That's $4,500 per month for home care. And it goes up with the rider. You're going to see pretty robust benefits there too, up to potentially $250 a day for facilities. So really strong. That's one of the things that separates Wellabe from the competition, is not only having 2-tiered underwriting, but if you've been on our training for Omniflex, for example, the second tier of underwriting is a little bit looser than it is with Wellabe, so you can cover more people, but the limitations a little bit more too. So it's like $100 maximum per day with the Omniflex. So that 150 is a nice step up. If somebody were to qualify for both of those, you might choose Wellabe in that case for sure. Okay. And again, with the essential care, we don't have first day coverage, protect the carrier a little bit. It's 20-day elimination period. Okay. So not 0 and 20. Okay. So just for our sanity's sake, and just so maybe I'll have some of you pull your hair out a little bit more, but I just want to show you a couple other areas. And these are all in the site, you guys. So you don't have to worry about where you'll see this, but you can see here on the application itself, and most of you use the e-app, but I just wanted to show you it's available. Here are those underwriting questions we're talking about. Okay. This is the application, and I'm going to pop over to the underwriting guide. And if you go to the underwriting guide that's on the site, page 9 of 18 shows you, here's those questions that you'll see in the app. And they have them listed right here in the underwriting guide as well. So it's real easy for you as you're talking to your client. If you get into our sales webinars and designing plans, even we talk a little bit about make it conversational. These are not, you don't have to get a med school degree to figure out the underwriting for these type of plans. So you can go from your underwriting guide as you're having a conversation with them, or right from the application, and you can see very easily what they're going to qualify for you and what you can offer for the client. Some of you will do this all ahead of time before the presentation or the meeting with your client. Some of you will be able to do this right on the fly. And again, most agents who have done a few of these can get to the point where they can do it right on the fly. Okay. So the question 1 here, are you currently, and I'm not going to read all these to you, so don't panic. Are you currently confined to or receiving assistance, or have advice and need assistance with activities of daily living or a cognitive impairment? Okay. That's that one knockout question, right? So if you can answer yes to this one, or if you have to answer yes to this one, we got to walk away. But if you don't answer yes to this one, you know we can at least get you that limited benefit rider that I'll tell you about if one of the other people in the house can get the regular essential care plus. Okay. And again, this sounds way more complicated when you're hearing it for the first time, but it's a very simple concept. Then if you go down to questions 2 through 6, those questions it'll say right here, if you answer yes to any questions 2 through 6, you should apply for the limited benefit secondary insured rider. So if we can get through questions 2 through 6 without saying yes, then we can at least get the essential care rider, the essential care product, which is just the scaled down plan that's still really robust. Okay. So very simple. Again, I'm not going to read all these to you. You can see these are major medical conditions, right? Do you need a walker? You having that much problem with mobility or oxygen? Have you been confined to a facility or nursing home within the last 6 months? And then in the last 2 years, have you been diagnosed with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's? These are major conditions. So most of the time, you're going to have a lot of your people you're talking to who are going to be able to get through 2 through 6 at least, and they're going to be able to get that essential care plan. Okay. So if they answer yes to these, they're limited rider, but if they answer no to these, you're going to be able to get at least the essential care plan. And then they have questions 7 through 11, which basically are the second tier of knockout questions. And you can see down here, if you answer yes to those questions 7 through 11, you have to get the essential care plan, again, which is really solid. But if you answer no to all these, then you can get the full-blown Essential Care Plus plan. And again, I'm not going to read these to you, but you can see these are pretty broad conditions as well. Much, much easier than what you'd see with a long-term care application, for example. Okay. Full disclosure, it's all on here. And there is a height and weight chart as well that is in there. So they do look at the height and weight as well, but pretty liberal compared to what you'd see with long-term care, et cetera. Okay. So real simple concept. And again, you can use our InstaPivot tool. I'm not here to train on InstaPivot by any stretch of the imagination, and I've had it open, so it'll take a second here. But you can see here, if we're down here with the InstaPivot tool, I've got a couple extra companies on here. You could go through and check their health conditions and find out exactly which plan you'd qualify for, whether it's the Essential Care or Essential Care Plus, if you can see that. So lots of different ways to get where we got to go to in order to find out what they qualify for. So don't worry about that side of it. It's very simple. Okay. So now I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, so I can get the Essential Care Plus or the Essential Care. And the limited benefit rider was the one, if you just answer that one question, and you're going to see it's not a huge benefit. It's $100 per day for up to 180 days with a 90-day elimination period. But again, you'll be surprised when you get people in these next several years, when we start seeing the tsunami or perfect storm of people realizing how important extended care coverage is. You're going to see that this limited benefit rider is a great way to keep the conversation going if one of the spouses or one of the adults in the house is not as healthy. Okay. Excuse me. So that's really a nice option there. And again, the plan highlights again for the base plan, which is a home health care plan. You can see they have some nice things that the other companies out there a lot of times don't have. And this is the household improvements built right in. So you can have $500 for home modifications, et cetera. And then there's a care coordination, $500 that'll help set up a plan of care for you. So these are nice little add-ons. They're not usually deal breakers or makers, but it is nice to know they're there. And again, I'm going to show you a little chart both here and on the site that's going to give you a bird's eye view of all this that I'm talking about. Okay. So the nursing facility care benefit rider, again, most of the other plans have a base plan that's nursing facility and then a home health care rider. Wellabe was pretty sharp and just said, hey, most people buy these for the home health care. We'll have that as the base and have a nursing home rider. And again, really robust, right? Daily benefits up to $500 per day, and you can get up to 360 days of care in a facility. Okay. So nice thing here, remember with these short-term care plans, they're indemnity benefits, no matter what the actual cost of care is, whether you're at home or in a facility, it'll pay the full benefits that you purchase. And that can be great, especially in home care, where you have a home health aide come in and you've got a nice, big, robust benefit. It'll give you the full indemnity benefit, regardless of any other insurance you have or anything like that. But with this plan, you can get up to $500 per day. And again, it says 360 additional days of care in a facility, because remember, with short-term care plans, you can have one claim that sometimes people go through the progression of care saying, hey, I'm going to need home health care, and then I need to go to a facility or vice versa. These plans could give you on one claim pretty robust coverage because you have both the rider and the base benefit. Okay. So with this on the Essential Care Plus, you're going to see you can have 0 or 20-day elimination period. And then if you do the Essential Care, it'll cut it down to the 20-day only. And oops, I jumped ahead. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. 21-day bed reservation just means if you have to go to a hospital or something, they'll keep your bed without giving it away. And then this one too, if you have the Essential Care Plus plan, the full benefit plan, you can have that one-time restoration again. If you end up using some of your benefits, very popular for things like hip replacements, knee replacements, or something that you might use some of your facility days, and then it'll restore after 180 days. Okay. So the inflation protection rider, which is really nice. This is something, again, that they do a little bit different that kind of separates them out from the competition out there that I like about Wellabe, is the flexibility on their inflation protection. Okay. So you can add it to the home health care and or the facility care benefit rider. And that's really a positive with this plan, because some of the plans don't have inflation at all. And some of them say if you add it to one of them, you got to add it to both. And with this one, it says, hey, you can add it just to the home care if you want to show extreme prejudice towards home care, or vice versa. If you want to say, you know, I'm going to keep it affordable, I'm going to put the home health care steady, and I'm going to put facility, an inflation rider on the facility. Okay, so it's a 5% simple inflation. Very simple to see on their website, simple to see if you look at our e-app and quoting, very easy to figure all of this out. And it's a nice option that's not as expensive as you might think. Okay. Now, they also do something different from the other products on our short-term care initiative, and that's this adult daycare rider. This is big. You know what? Adult daycare out there, there's 35,000 of them out there, and it's as of 2022, I think is the last time they did the official count. And you know what? There's 250,000 people using adult daycares out there, and they can be fairly expensive, $1,700 per month average for adult daycare. So this is more and more popular nowadays, especially sandwich generation folks who are saying, I'm working and I'm trying to take care of mom and dad and I'm taking care of my kids. And so I not only need a daycare for my kids, I need adult daycare somewhere where I'm working. I might need to bring mom or dad into there just to take a break, if nothing else. So adult daycares are really nice. It pays $50 per visit for up to 20 visits. And again, that's eligible for a one-time benefit restoration if you have the Essential Care Plus, the full-blown plan. It is available with the Essential Care plan as well, but just no restoration. Okay. And then the return of premium rider is something else that's a little bit different. This is something that people say, well, what happens to use it or lose it, or if I come into financial problems later? This is nice to know that this plan does have a return of premium rider. It's too early to tell how much of that will sell, but it is nice to know it's available. And then the next part is the valuable discount side of it. And I'll tell you what, this is huge. This discount side is really strong. It's something that I'm kind of glad to say we got to chat with the Wellabe folks. They were designing this, and we really stressed this couple side of it because it's a nice niche, because we work with a lot of married couples, don't we? So with this plan, you can see they go over and above. Some of the plans out there don't have any spousal discount or household discount at all. And they went really extreme with Wellabe, and it's very strong. They have a 7% if you have one applicant who lives with somebody else over 40 years old in the house. Even if one applicant applies, they get a 7% discount because they know that 40-year-old might be there to help out, etc. So a nice solid 7% discount for one insured. And then if 14% discount if two people, doesn't have to be mom and dad, but two people over 40 apply and get the Essential Care, the Essential Care Plus plan, you can get a 14% discount for each of them. That's really strong. Okay. So also they have this limited benefit rider, perfect for some of you on this call might be out there saying, I love Medico Wellabe. I sell a lot of their med sups. This is something you can go out and say, hey, not only can I get up to 14% discount for mom and dad or two adults, but I also can get an additional 5% discount if, jumped ahead. Additional 5% discount if they get that multi-policy discount. So if they have a Medicare sup, they'll get a 5% additional discount. I jumped ahead of myself. There is a caveat for that limited benefit rider that if you have a limited benefit rider in the house, then the maximum of any of these discounts is 5%. It's just something to protect the carrier again, because that's so unheard of in the industry to have that limited benefit rider or uninsurable rider, that they do limit all the other benefit discounts to 5%. So I jumped ahead of myself there. Sorry. Down here is the Medicare supplement additional 5%. Okay. Really strong, right? Product availability, don't panic. This is their first round. They just released these plans a few months ago, and now we're coming out knowing in 2024 we're going to be able to get more and more of those plans. So you guys know with our other products out there, we throw the net wide, and Wellabe is certainly going to do that as well. It's just a matter of having them get those filed and get them approved and out for the carriers. So as soon as we know they're available, that's one of the nice things you're going to see is that we do have the ability on our site. Remember, integritystc.com. You can go in there and see all the sales materials, all the products. Here's more information about Wellabe itself. But if you go over here to the actual short-term care site and you click on that, this is a living, breathing site. So the state availability will always be updated. So you can see here's the 10 states that they're available in now. And then here's where their combinations with other plans, etc. So this is always available for you to know when a new state comes out. And of course, if you're appointed with Wellabe, which we'll stress before I let you off this call, you're going to find out as new states get released. As soon as they're released, we'll get them out to you and make sure you're aware of them. Is that a deal? So that being said, I just had the footnotes there and thank you. So I'm going to go back to my site. And I do want to let you know, this is one of the main things that we want you to have with any of these products, is to know we have everything you need to succeed out there. And if you go to the Wellabe site on here, I may as well go to there, Wellabe Essential Care. You can see there's product availability. There's a nice little intro video for you. And then there's a bird's eye view of the product highlights. And then we have the presentation and brochures for agent use. And again, I won't go through all these, so don't panic. But if you need the quoting, you can go right to the quoting site. You do have to have a login for that, or we do have the InstaPivot, our Sandbox Quick Quote, and the InstaPivot for the underwriting if you need it. And there's some frequently asked questions and enrollment things as well. So everything you need is to help you is there. One of the things that we do have that'll help you right away is the, got to find it. There we go. Not the incentive, the flyer. So this flyer shows you, this is just called an agent flyer. And it's kind of, you can see the screenshots that they used in their training deck. This is basically showing you that first slide we showed you, and then the discount slide I just got done with. And then this little chart is kind of nice. This gives you a bird's eye view of everything we just talked about, right? So the Essential Care Plus, the Essential Care, and the Limited Benefit Rider. And it tells you, it starts out with a home health care base, and you can have a lot of different options for your plan care. Remember I told you it mentioned 360 in their training deck, but you can have a 90-day. Sometimes people might say, hey, I've got an old long-term care policy that I'm really worried about my 90-day elimination. Well, you might sell a little 90-day plan. And you might have that at $300 per day to complement that existing coverage. So lots of things we can do. When we get into plan design later on today, even we give some examples of where you might want to use some of the different plan options that are available in these plans. Okay, so just want to let you know this is there. This is called the Wellabe Flyer Agent Flyer, and it's available on the site, and you can check that out where it'll give you details about the return of premium, give you details about the inflation, etc. Everything you need to know. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to go back to the site, and I'm just going to remind you, check this site out if you haven't been to the integritystc.com, because one of the things for some of you are new, and I see a lot of new names today, which is great. Go to the sales and marketing area, and when you click on sales and marketing, you're going to be able to see, it's going to take a second because we're on a webinar, some facts about short-term or extended care in general. And then when you go down here, you can see way down at the bottom are some informative videos from my partner in crime that we talked about, Dennis Reiner, who's not on the call today. But we have some nice fireside chats and some conceptual selling ideas. Dennis has trained probably 100,000 plus agents over the years, and he's given countless consumer seminars as well. So he knows his stuff. And, you know, I've had the opportunity and the blessing to go out and train a lot of agents myself as well. And between the two of us, we can offer you pretty much anything you need to be successful out there in the field. And if you go to this first one, you can see full webinar showcase. And if you click on that, for those of you who are just getting on for the first time today, I really recommend you check that out. Go to the sales area, click on in the Integrity Short-Term Care Initiative training, and you can see here, Medicaid spend down, can clients self-insure, super sticky solutions, short-term care sales 201, got groups, True Freedom product, plan choices and design, coaches corner. I could list them all, but it's 6 pages, coming up on 6 pages, 5 full pages of all the different webinars we've given in this short-term care initiative. So everything you basically need to have on training is there for you. And then if you go over here back to the sales training on the site, some shorter ones that talk about some of the power of short-term care plans, the InstaPivot tool, check out the training on that if you'd like. You don't have to use it, because one of the things we do tell people is you don't have to go and learn how to use something even like the InstaPivot tool, which is really nice for the fact that you can click on it and you can find out if you're in Alabama, which products are available, etc. And again, I've had this open for a while, so it's a little slow when we're on a webinar, but it turns green right away to show you the state availability. This is a living, breathing site. So you'll always have up-to-date information to find out when Wellabe has a plan available in a given state, for example. Okay, so all that is there for you. And again, we have agent use some tools for recruiting agents if you're an agency, and we have consumer tools as well, so you can go out there and turn some heads from some of your consumers. But the biggest thing I'll tell you about this is we hit the easy button. For those who are first time on this call, I cannot stress it enough. When we get all these plans, and again, I'm going to go over to the short-term care area. Actually, I'm going to go to the home because I want to share the home care too. We have all the plans available in this Integrity Short-Term Care Initiative. Here's our comprehensive short-term care plans. And down below are the home health care only plans. These underwriting is so simple with these. It's literally, are you receiving care today? Or, you know what, or are you having a cognitive impairment? I mean, it's that simple. You can get these plans really easily for anybody you're in front of. So the easy button I'm talking about, you guys, is check out our sales training webinars. Check out today, even designing a plan gets a little more in depth on a few plan ideas, but the sales side of this is so simple. You guys have built-in consumers. We are in the marketing area for our career shop, and we have to go out and get leads and try to get people to nibble on reply cards or internet leads. That's a whole different realm of this, where a lot of you on this call with our Integrity family, tell you what, you already have leads. You have the people you sell Medicare subs to, or MA plans, or final expense, or whatever you might be selling. That's your lead, because 70% of Americans are going to need some type of extended care in their lifetime once they hit age 65. And especially with these short-term care plans, that's not an embellishment. They're going to be able to use these plans. They're important, and they can be lifesavers. Remember, 3 out of every 5 individual bankruptcies in the world out there, in the US, I should say, are because of unforeseen medical costs. So this is a huge market, and you're going to be really thankful that it's very easy to open the conversation up. If you go to one of our sales webinars, you'll see how easy that is. So I won't babble at you anymore. I do want to let you know the next step is up to you. Make sure you go out there and talk to the network partner that got you on this call, and tell them you want to get appointed with these carriers, or go to the Integrity Short-Term Care site, click Get Appointed. I'm back on the site now. Simple little form: name, email address, phone number, who got you on the call, which one of the Integrity partners recruiting you. And even if you don't know who that is for some reason, or you skip that slide or that field, that cell, I promise you this, we know from the way we set these up was we have unique short-term care invitations. I'm really babbling now. We have unique invitation codes that we sent out, so we'll know which company invited you, and we'll steer it to the right area. So you can go down here, click all products, make sure you're not a robot by answering that last one, and then click sign me up, and you're done. And we'll contact you and let you know what else they need to get that done. So really simple to get appointed with all these carriers. And once you do, tell you what, this isn't a hobby, you guys. As I let you go, and some of you can log off, but if you haven't already got the picture here, we know it's not a hobby. We know you're helping people, but you get rewarded for helping people, right? If you get these plans in place, which are so easy to do, you're going to make a ton of extra commissions for yourself. And more importantly, you're going to lock on and have multi-policies in your household, so you're going to have better persistency on the other plans you're selling. And just as important to that, you're going to end up helping these Americans out there who so much need it. And you're going to be becoming a trusted advisor for that client for other things as well. So lots of great reasons to jump on and start rolling up your shirt sleeves a little bit, stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. Because if you don't do it, unfortunately, 90% of adults out there have never had a conversation about extended care or how to protect themselves. So it's not even the old thing, if you don't sell it, somebody else will. It's worse than that. If you don't sell it or bring it up to people, they may not hear about it or understand that it's important, and they're going to end up, because of their not having the knowledge you can provide, they're going to end up getting hurt later on. So lots of great reasons to help out. So I appreciate your time today. This is Tom Randall again from GoldenCare. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to jump on this short-term care initiative webinar today. I do have another one coming up at 2 Central today on designing plans, and hopefully you can jump on that one as well. And if not, we'll see you on a future webinar as well. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all you do.
The next step is yours. Contact your marketer for more information and to start offering short-term care solutions to your clients. and be sure to sign up for our other short-term care hot topic webinars.